To anybody who thinks living off the land, having a sustainable life, um, not having a job is being lazy, don't tell me that. Yes, I do constantly look for jobs when I'm not working, when I don't have a job. Because having a job, in all honesty, while you don't need a job to have a sustainable life, it is a good thing to have. Because having a job is not really more dependable. I mean, people, especially South Carolina, South Carolina's the right to hire, right to fire state. They can fire you for just the same way as they can hire you for any reason they need. They can fire you for any reason they need. They do not need a reason to fire your ass. All you have to do is look at the boss a funny way. If he decides, hey, we don't need you anymore, we got enough help as it is, they can fire your ass. That's all the reason they need. We don't need you anymore. That's the only bit of reason they need it, and they right to hire, right to fire state. Of course, with this going on, there also is unemployment. If you feel like you were unjustifiably fired, you can file for unemployment. If they see that you're fit for it, you get paid a certain amount, so many months while you look for more work. So it's not really that's more dependable, but when you're living a sustainable, live off the grid, I want to be my own boss, I want to take care of my own land type of person, it can work. But the only way it's going to work is if you put your ass out there every single day. You deal with the heat. You deal with the constantly having to be up and about. It's not you sit at house all day and you grow a garden and you eat your garden. The garden in itself is hard work. You got to constantly be out there watering the garden, because if you miss a single day at watering, that garden will die. This is the way my father taught me. Each individual plant to grow up healthy needs a gallon a day. Man, you have to go out there every single day and take that hose, or take however many plants you want. If you want to do it that way, go for it. It makes it much harder doing it that way, because you got to constantly keep those plant jugs filled up. The simplest solution is to get you a pump out by your garden, where all you got to do is pump it a few times, and have a hose that has a kind of cut on valve, so that way all the water builds up pressure into that hose, and just pump it about, before you even consider pumping it into the garden, you gotta pump it about 20 times to be sure it's good, clean water, because unhealthy water can kill your garden and can kill you. Water straight out of the ground has to be filtered. Because there can be minerals and chemicals in the soil that can contaminate your water and can make it not safe for drinking. But it's not easy work. The garden itself is hard work. You gotta be out there daily, except for when it rains. Which here in South Carolina, it rains a good bit during the springtime. April, May, and June. It rains a good bit, but it's still not enough. You still got to constantly be out there watering it when it don't rain. The garden in itself takes a lot of work. If you want to provide your own meat, you have to constantly tend for your animals, and you have to have money to tend for your animals. You can't just sit on your ass all day and do nothing. You have to constantly be looking for some type of work. I'd be going go build a garden for someone else. Somebody needs a ceiling fan fixed. You fix their ceiling fan. Have them get the ceiling fan they want. If they want to replace their ceiling fan, you go put it up for them. And or it be somebody needs help repairing their floors or their sinks. This is simple work that anybody, if giving the knowledge to do it, can do it. It don't take a plumber or electrician to do this type of stuff. My mom learned how to do this type of stuff. She had to because she couldn't afford plumbers and electricians. So, I mean, there's some stuff she couldn't do on her own. And she had to hire these people, but she couldn't afford it when we were growing up. So there's some stuff she had to fix herself. But it takes some type of work. So if I don't have a job, I am constantly looking for work. Hey, does anybody need a handyman? I got such and such experience. I have it done within like 2 to 3 days or 2 to 3 hours, depending on the job. Do you need some stuff hauled off? Just any way you can make money, you have to constantly look for that way to make money. And it keeps you fed, it keeps bills paid. That's about all it's doing. But when you're living this type of life, that's really all you need. All you really need is bills paid and keep yourself fed. Living off the land is really just you don't need all that extra stuff in life. You take into valuation, take into. I sometimes get like this. I can't speak straight. I know what I want to say. I know what the word sounds like, but my mind just gets all jumbled with thoughts, and I can't bring it out the way I want to bring it out. But you basically gotta prioritize. What's more important? Do I need internet and cable, or do I need a phone bill? Do I really need a phone? I can find a way to contact all the people I need without a phone. Now, there's times when I am going to need a phone, and that phone then becomes prioritized. Like, I can't always find work without a phone. I can, but having a phone makes it easier. Having Facebook makes it easier. But I can also connect to any Wi-Fi source I need to, and post any post I need to, and message any person I need to with a phone that's don't have service. I haven't had service on my phone for over a year now. But living a lifestyle where you don't have to depend on the government, you don't have to depend on having a steady income, it takes way more work. Because having a job, you go to work each and every day, and you get what needs to be done, and then you come home and you get a paycheck for doing your job. But living a sustainable, off the land lifestyle without a job, it's more of, I got message this person. I gotta do that person. I gotta go to this person's house, and you have to do it. It's not a rather if you're sick or not feeling well or too tired. Doesn't matter how you're feeling. When you put it into your mind, what do I need in life? How am I going to get this out of life? You have to do everything you can. Um, and why, yes, you don't have to worry about having a job the next day or a boss man busting your ass for really doing what you're supposed to be doing and he decides you're not doing it the right way. Uh, I mean, you still have to answer to people. You have to answer a law. If you're doing a job for somebody and they want it done a certain way, yeah, to a limit, you have to do the way they want. Now, if it's something um, unreasonable, like they say, oh, I want you to dig a 50-foot hole and fill it with cement. Fill it about 30 foot full of cement and then pour dirt on top of that. So that way I have a garden but my animals won't dig through it. That is way too much work and way too much effort, and there are other ways around that. Why am I going to do it that way? If you insist on me doing it this way and not the work smarter, not harder way, and um, then why would I do that? I'm sorry, if you insist on having it done this way, you're going to have to find somebody else. I'll go find work elsewhere. Um, and working for yourself in that type of way, that's a major benefit. While you do want to please your customer as much as possible, so that way, and yes, I do consider them customers. I'm doing a job for you, even though it's not a licensed job or I'm not doing this and that. I'm doing a job for you. I want to keep on working for you, so that way I have a way to sustain my life. So I want to make you as happy as possible. But when you're not working for the man, as a lot of people call it, it does give you that benefit of setting your boundaries, knowing what you're capable of, and knowing what you're willing to do um, for that person. Uh, but like I said, it's not as simple as you think. You can't just wake up one day and decide, hey, I don't want to work another job in a day in my life. I just want to grow a garden, have some animals, and feed myself and clothe myself, and not having to worry about anything. I can sacrifice there, now I can sacrifice the cable. I don't need that stuff. It's way more work than people give it credit for. Um, because either way, we live in a world that depends on money. We have to keep bills paid. Even when you own land, you have bills, you have taxes, you have mortgage, you have um, car payments. I mean, you still have to have a vehicle to get to and from jobs. You still have to be able to get yourself to and from the store. Even though you're getting all your meals from a garden and stuff like that, there's still stuff you're going to need. You're going to need clothes. If you gain weight or lose weight, you're going to have to buy more clothes. If your feet grow, I mean, by a certain age, your feet shouldn't be growing no more. You should be able to wear the same shoes for the rest of your life. But shoes do eventually wear out too. But it should take about 15 years before you need to buy another pair of shoes. Um, I've been wearing my same shoes. They're a little worn out now. I've been wearing them for about 3 years now, but they're not so worn out I can't wear them for another 10 years. they're just at the point where they look a little rough and they have a few patches in them, holding them together. But and that's another thing. You just because you think you need something doesn't mean you need it. Me, I wear shoes until they get worn out. One pair of shoes is all I own. Um, I'll wear those until they get worn out, and then I patch them up and wear them until they can't be patched up anymore. They're going to have to go, and then that's when I look towards buying me another pair of shoes. Um, but it's not a easy lifestyle in the slightest. Uh, you still struggle. A lot of times, I don't know if y'all see me posting videos and it's dark in here. I say sorry about the darkness and stuff like that. Oh, it's night out. I got all the lights turned off. It's. I could turn my lights on just for a few minutes, but I don't see the point in that. I I don't need the lights at that moment. I can see clearly what I'm doing and what I need to do. Um, so why turn them on and spend extra money that I don't have at the moment? And even if I had it, why waste that money that I have instead of use it for something a little more important? Um, you have to make a lot of sacrifices to live that lifestyle. And it's not for everybody. But you don't need a job to live a happy, healthy life. You do need income. You do need money. I mean, some stuff you don't need money for. You go do a job for somebody, working about 5 hours a day, or 8 hours a day, or 12 hours a day for a week straight, and say, hey, don't worry about paying me. I'm good on money right now. I just wanted to help somebody out. But if you absolutely feel like paying me, I noticed that you had something over there that I know it's been sitting there for a while. You don't really use it. Anyway, I can get that exchange, and sometimes you can find people go like, yeah, man, I was actually thinking about selling it for about $2,000 or something like that, but you done about $2,000 worth of work already. Well, let's just work something out. You take it, or I'll cut the payment. I wanted $2,000 for this truck. I wanted $2,000 for this truck, but you done so much work for me, and you ain't asked for anything in return. Let me work out something with you. If you have $600 here now, do one more job for me. This truck is yours. You can work out deals like that. Not all the time, but sometimes you can work out deals like that with people. If it's something you need and they don't need, in exchange for some labor, or exchange for something you have that they need but you don't need, you can make deals like that. Not all the time. A lot of time people just want money. Doesn't matter how much work you done for them. Doesn't matter if you do it from the kindness of your heart or you charge them. Those people, when they're selling something, or the intention of selling something, they want a specific price. And I mean, if you got that specific price, go for it. If it's something you absolutely need. If it's not, cut your losses. Go like, I can't really afford that right now. I hope you find somebody who can. Thank you uh, for the opportunity. For you always want to thank somebody for the opportunity of working for them. That's one thing I've learned. Either it be at a job like Domino's or Lowe's or Food Line or a construction job, um, or something like that. You always want to thank the person for the opportunity, because that's basically what they're giving you. They're giving you an opportunity to come work for them or with them and make a decent amount of money, so that way you can keep your bills paid and have what you need to have. Uh, that's why I consider it as an opportunity. Uh, when you walk into that interview, the first thing you should do is shake their hand, thank them for the time, and introduce yourself. Uh, it's a sign of respect, and it's a sign of um, not enthusiasm. It's a sign of you want that job. You ain't coming there just for the paycheck. You ain't coming there for just to work for little nothing and get a little nothing work done. It's that you actually are eager to have a job and work with decent people and make a living. Um, when you make a job about nothing but money, that's what normally turns people away from you. Because they're thinking, okay, you just want the money, and you're going to leave first chance you get to make more money. Why would you leave to make more money when you have a pretty decent? I mean, if they're paying you for, if you're getting paid $200 every other week, there has been several jobs I've had to leave for that. I'm like, $200 every single week. The only thing I can afford is transportation to get to and from work. I can't afford anything else. I'm putting all my money into barely having insurance on my vehicle, to barely having gas. Just so that way I come here, sacrifice everything else in my life just to be working for this job that ain't really giving me worth anything. Um, Working like that, it's not worth it, and you should find another job. But if you're working a job getting paid uh, $400, $500 a week, why would you leave that? Why would you go look for something? You're keeping bills paid. You have everything you need. When people all they want is money, and they find something that gives them better money, they're going to leave that job, go to another job. That puts that job in jeopardy. Then they find something better in that job. They're going to leave that job and put that job in jeopardy. Um, it, it puts down the business when they have to take time to go like, oh, we just lost another worker. We got to start looking for other people. We're losing customers because we can't keep up because we lost somebody on such short notice. You should always give a 2 weeks notice. No matter what. If you are going to quit a job for any reason, you should always give a 2 weeks notice. And work them full 2 weeks before you go somewhere else. Not only that, but even if you do give a 2 weeks notice and you leave a job without anything to back it up, that's going to put you in a bind where you're struggling until you do find another job. But if you want to put yourself in a bind, put yourself in a bind. But when jobs see that you're just going to keep on leaving them for something better, it's going to make it where jobs in the future ain't going to want to hire you, because that's going to be on your record. And they can contact those jobs to find out why you're not working for them anymore. If they say, well, because he just decided to leave to find something better, that job's going to be like, well, what if he finds something better than us? What if he works here for a week, works his ass off, and finds something better than us? and he just decides he wants to leave out of the blue. That's going to put us down. We're going to have to double work for the lack of work we had from that dude, and it's going to put us in a bind where customers ain't going to really be satisfied with our work anymore, because we're having to push ourselves to do so much extra. I've seen it happen working at Domino's. We've had maybe about we've had probably about 4 drivers. And it wasn't 4 drivers for one shift. We had one driver for one shift, every shift. And because of that, we couldn't get orders out in a timely fashion. Because of that, people were constantly calling in and constantly saying, "Hey, we ain't got our order's wrong." And because that is bringing the cooks, where we only have about 2 cooks in the building, where they're having to do so much extra to satisfy the people who didn't get their deliveries, to push so much extra harder. And because that, people who actually ordered inside are having to wait hours before they get their food. And people just decide, okay, we don't want to work for these people anymore. I mean, we don't want to order from these people anymore. These people's quality sucks. And it does. Because we're having to push ourselves to do so much extra and wearing ourselves out just to please everybody that we're not even pleasing at all. The company and the employees depend on each other. The employees depend on company to give them their hours, to give them their pay, so that way they can make a decent living and have their bills paid, have everything. But whenever the company is not meeting the quota of the employees, it really just makes employees, what's the point? We're working our ass off every week just to barely get by. We get fussed at for stuff we can't control. We ain't getting enough money to live. We're having a struggle because this company ain't giving us what we deserve. We're just going to do the bare minimum, get paid what we can, and get on out. And that's honestly how employees view it. When a employee is felt like he's not being respected enough, he's not getting what he deserves, when he feels like that he's just being used for his labor, they're going to stop putting as much effort into it, and just be like, "Oh well, y'all don't care about us, we don't care about you." The same thing if employees decide if employees decide they ain't wanting to do anything, and they just want to do the bare minimum, then the company can't really afford to pay the employees what they need to be paid. The company is losing so much business, and if a certain store loses so much business and puts that company into jeopardy, that company has to shut down that branch. That store is no longer there. It becomes land to be purchased out from other companies. If the Domino's here in Gaston loses so much customers and is only making so much every night, the actual company that runs all of the Domino's has no other choice but to shut that specific Domino's down, because that specific Domino's is causing them to lose money. And because they're losing money, they can't keep stores open. They can't make new stores. They can't spread out. So that's just the way things work. The business depends on the employees. The employees are what gets everything going. Is what they serve the people. They make the people happy. They make the people want to come in and pay for good quality marketing. whatever it is that you're selling, doesn't matter what you, if you're selling your own labor, your own hands, your own sweat, working a construction job, and you as the employee is the one getting, you're the one being sure the customer is happy. You're the one being sure the customer wants to keep on going through y'all's company. You're the first person the customer sees. And that's what keeps the business going. At the same time, the employee depends on the company. It's the company that deals with all the paperwork, all of the W-2s and money and the get paid vacations. The company that deals with that. So without the company, the employee can't get what he needs. They depend on each other. I don't know how I got off on this subject, but it does kind of work out, because looking at it as someone who lives off the land, look at it as someone who doesn't work for a company. I need such and such to survive. I need money, I need clothes, I need food, I need shelter, and I need water. Those are the necessities of life. Now, how am I going to get that? If I'm not working for a big time company that can pay me, who is it that I have to depend on? I have to depend on the clients that I build for myself. I have to depend on waking up every day, finding the work that I need. I have to depend on a customer being happy, a customer having the 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 money I need to live. And it doesn't take one job either. It takes a couple hundreds of jobs a day, every day. You need a ceiling fan fixed. Okay, if you need a whole new ceiling fan, that's probably going to cost about 85, 95 bucks for to get the ceiling fan, to wire up the ceiling fan, to do whatever labor I need to do, plus the ceiling fan itself. Now, if you need just there's a couple dead wires in there. All you gotta do is strip them, splice them, and be sure they're secure with no hazard it's going to be caused. That right there, I don't see that being more than about 20 bucks. That's really just for the little bit of labor and gas that you spent to get out to that person's house itself. So that one job, yeah, that's going to help, but it's not going to do enough. So you're going to want to do, okay, so you make $20 per ceiling fan that you fix. If it's not spinning right or a light fixture's broke, you make $20 for that job. Doing 100 ceiling fans a day, that's 20. That's I won't be sure I got the math right. Yeah, that's $2,000 a day. Now, what can $2,000 get you? $2,000 can get you a decent used vehicle. $2,000 can pay your rent, pay your lights, uh, pay your water bill for a single month. $2,000 can be sure you're fed for about a month with the price of food these days. I mean, you're not going to make $2,000 in a single day repairing ceiling fans, because you ain't going to find 100 people that need ceiling fans repaired in a single day. Somebody needs sink fix. Again, tighten a bolt, wouldn't charge them no more than $20. Now, if they need whole new pipes and washers and a whole new faucet, if there's water damage done to the floor, you're going to have to charge way more than $20. Because, really, more than likely, if a customer's having you do it, the customer don't know nothing about it. So you're going to have to actually go out and get the materials yourself. So, really, working a job like that, you want to charge them for material plus I want to say about a 5% interest for that. It costs them about $400. So it costs anywhere from $20 to $400 for a job like that, depending on what is wrong, what needs to be done. Now, if they just want you to fix their sink and don't worry about the weathered wood that's all soaked and damp and can fall at any point, they don't want you to worry about that. That's really on them. Yeah, you should explain to them, hey, this needs to be done, but they're probably going to end up getting somebody else to do it eventually anyways. Just let them know if they ever need it done, you can do it at a reasonable price. A price way cheaper than what any company would do it for. Because a company goes and does it, they ain't going to look for one bolt being tightened. They're always going to look for the most expensive way to fix this. And 9 times out of 10, the most expensive way they're going to get ain't going to be a long-lasting solution. It's going to last maybe a couple months, maybe a couple years, maybe a couple days. That's really how companies work. That's how they make customers, how they keep customers, how they make as much money as possible, keep the business going. But if you're willing to do it for a way cheaper price and still be able to get it done in decent quality, quality possibly better than what the company can do, if not the same, at a reasonable price, all you're really charging is for materials and a little bit of labor fee. Customers more likely to go to you than the actual company that does this stuff themselves. Somebody looking around town, you see somebody, they have a tree falling in their driveway, pretty decent sized tree, it's going to take a decent amount of time to move it. Like, hey man, I noticed you had a tree falling in your yard. I can get that. I can cut it up for you, have it hauled off. Of course, I ain't going to do it for free, but I'll do it at a very reasonable price. The tree's about such and such big around, such and such long. It'll take me about 3 to 4 hours to get it done. I'll do it for you for $200. No, let's go 75. Let's go 75. For a single tree that only takes 3 hours to do, 75 to 300. But let's go 75, because 75 will more than likely get you more work with them later on. They might say, "Hey, man, I noticed that you cut down a tree a while back ago for me, and you got it all hauled off. Didn't leave too much of a mess, and you did what you said you was going to do for a reasonable price. I got three more trees out here that I need cut down. I was wondering if you give me a quote on how much it'd take to get them moved, because they're really trees that's just been taking up space and ain't really providing a whole lot of shade, so I don't really see a point in them being out here anymore. Could you come cut them down, remove them, uh, move the stump for me?" Now, if you're not licensed to do this, stick with a certain size, because if you don't really know too much about this and you take and cut down a tree and it falls on top of their house and does a whole bunch of damage, they can sue you. And you ain't working for a company. It's not the company's responsibility at that point to pay for damages. It's your responsibility. You done that out of your money, your resources, your time. They can sue you, but a little no bigger than about my size around. About um, say 12 foot tall tree that is just sitting out there. Ain't really near anything that can break. Um, you can do that. Just it don't take nothing to cut down a tree and remove the stump. I mean, it takes a lot of work to remove the stump. You gotta dig around each individual root. You gotta you don't want to do it by hand. You're gonna want to have something to pull it. That can take a good bit of work, but basically you did it for a reasonable price, so they're gonna want you to come out and do more if they have more for you to do. All because you offered one time to remove a simple tree in the driveway for them. Um, but it's not easy. Not in the least. You gotta constantly be out, keep an eye out for ways to make money to sustain your life. Um, and if you're like me at the moment, I don't have a vehicle anymore. The transmission went out. At the time, I had a crappy vehicle, so I was not going to do a whole bunch of extra labor in that vehicle to wear it out even more. I wanted to keep that vehicle going as long as possible until I can find a way to make it fix. Make get it fixed. Unfortunately, that ended up not working out, and the vehicle broke down anyways. And I had to get rid of it because I didn't have the money to get it fixed. It cost about $2,000 just to fix it. I didn't have $2,000. I had lost my job because of that. Because I had a way to and from work. I was walking every day, but my work required me to drive. They didn't want me working on the inside. They wanted me to drive for them, which is understandable. You don't need anybody on the inside. You need drivers. So unfortunately, right now, you don't need me. That's what I'm saying. Stupid shit happens all the time that you can't really control, and jobs can fire you for any reason, and they don't really need too much of a reason. Doesn't matter how hard of a worker you are. Doesn't matter how much you do for them. If they don't need you anymore, they don't need you anymore. And it's understandable. They gotta find a way to keep themselves up too. They gotta find a way to keep all of their employees paid. If they can't afford you, they can't afford you. Um, but yeah, it's a lot of work to maintain your life. Don't matter which way you go, it's actually a lot harder doing it this way. I'm struggling right now. I got a internet bill coming up. I got to find a way to pay that internet bill while also getting the internet cut off for a while. So this may be my last video for a good while, but I don't need something that I can't afford. And you got to make sacrifices to live a life like this. But even if I could afford it this month, I still gotta get it cut off because I have no idea if I'm gonna be able to afford it next month or the month after that. Until I know I'm making decent amount of money where I can afford it for a good bit of months, I can't keep it. It's just one of them sacrifices you have to make to live. That is actually bothering me a little bit. But the mustache. But yeah. It's something I don't need right now. I need lights more than I need internet. I need food more than I need internet. Unfortunately, fortunately, I'm not struggling on that right now. I got that paid. I got food in the freezer. I got food in the fridge. I'm able to eat daily if I want to. I mean, I don't need to eat daily. I maybe eat every other day and I'm satisfied. One meal every other day, it keeps me going. It may not look it, but when you have to make sacrifices, you have to make sacrifices. I could afford to eat every other day right now. I mean, not every other day, every day. But if I'm not hungry, I don't need to eat. So yeah, just wanted to put that out there. If you're concerned about doing something like this, just knowing ahead of time how hard it is, how much extra work you have to do. Yes, there are a lot of benefits, but there are also a lot of cons to it. You have to know what you're getting yourself into.